Hello everyone and welcome to episode 29 of Music is None of Our Business. Do you think I should say that in a more, should I try saying that in a more dramatic fashion?
A stentorian voice.
Yeah, should I say welcome to episode, or next time say welcome to episode 30 of Music is None of Our Business.
Well, the guy from the X Factor.
Yeah. This summer we present the podcast event of the year. Music is None of Our Business, episode 30, starring DJ Shitpump and MC Crapstick.
You did some great regional accents in our previous episodes, so there's a plethora of opportunities there for you to try out.
Well, I got told off though. Which one did I get told off for? Was it the
Irish ones? I think one of your friends has been quite.
Yes, I did. I got told off for the. I can't. I can do like a basic northern one, but I can't quite remember where it comes from. It's from somewhere up north, but I can't remember exactly where. I could never do. Well, yeah, man, I could never do a Geordie accent.
Obviously,
because I got so far along, and I'd forget what I was doing, and then I sound like I came from like India or somewhere, which is always a bit embarrassing. I can't go Manchester. No.
Yeah, no. Well, maybe not such a good idea.
Go by me, governor. That was a pass north and south. Not me. Knock it on there, John. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, did I get in trouble for my South African accent? It might have been the South African.
You've got quite a range, haven't you? Yeah, I think
I've not been good at any of them though.
But they're distinguishable, just about.
Oh well, yeah, fair enough.
They're better than any.
I'll take that. I'll take the mild compliment. The mild compliment, courtesy of Jake.
I think very impressive.
Fucking hell.
Certainly better than any that I could do.
Yes. So we were just talking about gigs that we were going to as well just before we started, and you were gone about Cabaret Voltaire.
Possibly still Cabaret Voltaire and Gazelle Twin. That's not till October. But then Codex Serafini are coming to Nottingham, so I may or may not go to that. And NYX, who I'd dearly love to see live. They're playing in London later on in the year, but I live so far from London now that getting to see anybody down there is a real ball ache. It's one of those where I'll probably
you need a stab fest. You need a stab fest if you even say London out loud these days.
Some people in the provinces genuinely believe that, I think.
I know.
But that's the media, isn't it?
I'm off down to London on Friday. I'm going to see My Bloody Valentine at Royal Albert Hall with Churches supporting.
Don't know. Oh, Churches. Oh, right.
Churches,
yeah,
yes.
Got it.
They're doing an acoustic set or something. And I've finally got a ticket for Otabiki Beaver as well.
Oh, right.
The Japanese hardcore. Have you not heard them?
That sounds familiar.
They're like,
I'm trying to think.
They're four Japanese girls, and they just make a hell of a noisy hardcore racket.
Oh,
they're brilliant. Right. Yeah, they used to have lots of videos on Instagram of their drummer, who used to play like at about 50 times the speed of most other drummers, and never dropped a beat. It's fucking amazing.
They're not one
absolutely
for half measures,
amazing.
the Japanese musicians, are they?
No, absolutely not. No, bless them.
They're either soaringly loud and incredibly fast, or they're very, very quiet and very intricate.
Yes, absolutely. So apart from that, I've also got Lande Hecht in Cambridge in April, and Prostitute. I'm going to see Prostitute at the Moth Club.
Yeah, the Moth Club.
The Moth Club in Acme, mate. Acme.
Oh, that's in London. I thought you meant in Cambridge.
Yeah. Now down in London, down in stabby London. So I'll be wearing like chainmail, and kind of looking over his shoulder every 2 minutes. Go, oh my God, oh what's that? So yeah, as you do.
As I'm sure you must.
Down in the war zone, I'll be looking around. I'll be handing out money to all the refugees lining the streets who've had to fly back from Dubai.
Are you now making a commentary on the media and politics?
Am I? I better stop, haven't I?
Well, no, I just wondered.
No, yes, I was. I was just taking a piss. But... Okay, so this week we are doing creatures.
Creatures.
It was going to be animals, but then we both decided that we had a couple of things that were a bit dubious, so we've now creatures. Songs with creatures in the title. So if you want to lead off,
Oh, okay.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Is it?
Turns,
Well, I'll
yeah,
go first
I think
then.
it is anyway.
Okay, so my first one is the dodgy, not quite an animal. It's a butterfly.
That's an animal.
And the song in question is "The Butterfly Collector" by The Jam.
And only last week you were saying,
yes, well, because last week I thought we've not spoke about The Jam. I think I was a big Jam fan, and Marmalade and I'm so funny, or am I? So yeah, the Butterfly Collector by The Jam, which is I think one of my favourite Jam songs. I think it's a wonderful song. It was the B-side of Strange Town, or at least I think it was. That's what I wrote down. I'm down myself now. But anyway, it was a B-side, and like we said, I mean, the Jam were a great, well, punk band, weren't they? I mean, they came along in the first wave of punk.
They did. They had a punk sound, a punk attitude, and punk ideology, but they had very much an aura of a mod band.
Yes,
the clothing and the styling was quite not punk, really.
Absolutely, yeah. But the punks took to them.
It sounds great.
And I mean, the first two albums were good, but all mod cons. That was when it turned. They turned from a really good punk band into a great band, I think.
Yeah.
That was a fabulous LP. I remember buying that from Keith Records, and it barely left the turntable for months. Just played it to death.
Oh, I didn't know if it was because it was the Jam and it was sticky and it stuck to
the you're very good. I didn't think of that. Damn it. Look, let's just hold on. Let's just reiterate the rules here. I'm the funny one. I do all the fucking jokes. You just sit there and look lovely. Okay?
I try to restrain myself, so sorry.
Yes, so it barely left the turntable because it's all sticky with jam.
Good one.
And I delivered it better as well. Anyway, I digress. And I forgot what else there. Yeah, all my cons. And a fabulous. I mean, I know I've strayed from the Butterfly Collector already, but I will get to it. It was just, it's just such a brilliant LP. And then, Setting Suns.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking hell, that was even better.
I can say, possibly.
Although in all honesty, I don't think I played it as much as all my cons, even though I was well aware it was I think by that time that would have been 80 was Setting Suns. 79, 80.
Yeah.
Just superb. But I think by that time, as I was going to say, I'd kind of got a bigger collection of records, so I had more to listen to. So I wasn't I think there was a certain amount of that as well. But yeah, I mean, and that was just a brilliant album, and sound effects as well. And then I mean, The Gift, which was the next one, I didn't
going
really,
off there.
Yeah, I didn't. That wasn't a. And I think, I mean, the singles were still great, and that was the other thing we were talking about, the singles as well.
That was how it came up, I think, last time round.
Yeah, it was. That's right, and they just had a fantastic run of singles. I don't think they ever released a bad single, in all honesty. We're going to do that thing now where we're both kind of looking up in the air going and stroking our chins and going, I don't think
there's no bad single, is there?
No, I don't think there is. I honestly don't. Because you started with In the City, you finished with Absolute Beginners. Well, no, not Absolute Beginners. Oh God, I've forgotten what the fucking last song was.
I didn't think Absolute Beginners was.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I got that wrong. It was Beat Surrender. Beat Surrender. Yeah. Come on, boy. Come on, girl. Succumb to the beat surrender.
I didn't like that. I was kind of thinking, was that as they become the Style Council and Weller went on to that, because that was the way the music was going. That Beat Surrender fitted more that kind of combo than the Jam, I thought.
Do you think? I thought Beat Surrender. I thought by the time they got that far along, they had become more of a punky soul band.
They
And then
drifted.
I think that I kind of thought the Style Council was a completely different genre altogether. I mean, that was more of a I don't know what they were trying to do. That was more smooth soul, wasn't it?
It was still soul, definitely soul.
Whereas when you got to the end of the Jam's run of singles, that was more into a kind of a punky soul. That was kind of almost reminiscent of what Rocket to the Crypt were doing when they were doing their punk with the brass.
Yeah.
So I think that was. I mean, obviously you can't compare the two bands because they're so totally different. But the same idea of going to a kind of reaching the end of that punk soul hybrid, punk soul horns hybrid, and then him going, right, that's it, I've had enough, and the other two going, what the fuck are you talking about, Paul? And he's going, fuck you, Bruce, fuck you, Rick, I'm off to do some classy soul stuff, and they're going, oh, wanker. I'm kind of postulating a bit here. I don't know if that's exactly what was said, but I can imagine it was pretty. I imagine it was pretty fucking close actually, because they were devastated, weren't they?
Yeah, there was acrimonious. I don't think there was any love lost between them when they finally went their different ways, which is a shame.
I don't think he's ever really captured anything like what he had with the Jam since.
No.
I've always thought, and my friend Gary's going to hate me because he loves Paul Weller, but I've always found everything post Jam to be a bit bland.
Yeah.
To be honest, and a bit like, I think that where the Jam kind of cut their own sway through music history, what he's doing now is just kind of aping lots of his old influences and not really doing anything new or necessarily interesting. So I'm sorry, Gary. I didn't mean it.
He did do one good single. I can't remember what it was called. I did quite like one of his singles as a solo artist. I didn't like anything much of the Style Council, and I haven't really followed his career. It hasn't been interesting enough to follow for me.
I remember the Style Council singles, and I remember thinking, yeah, they're all right. I'd listen to them, but I never once had any compulsion to play a Style Council album. But the Butterfly Collector itself, since that is the song we're talking about, supposedly, rather than wanking on about how good the Jam were, that is a great song.
It is,
and
lovely.
I think I think that's it. It's a lovely song.
Yeah.
It was kind of along the lines of what he did with English Rose. Kind of a nice, slow, lovely song. But whereas English Rose was kind of a bit more one tempo, this kind of has that little, the Butterfly Collector, all that kind of thing. But so that's me waxing lyrical about the Jam. Still one of my favourite bands of all time. I had a massive collection of Jam 7-inch singles. I mean, I had fucking loads of the bastards. I had bloody European picture sleeves. I had Japanese sleeves. And I looked at them one day and I thought, why am I still collecting all these? Sold a lot. Me and Annie went off on holiday. Had a week away with the money I made from selling the Jam singles. So yeah, go on, Paul.
Did you ever see them perform live?
No, I didn't. Sadly,
No.
I've seen Weller a couple of times, and it's just it's kind of what you expect. It's one of those bands where it tends to just attract twats. Really, unfortunately, There's certain bands that do. I think Gary's been to see From the Jam a couple of times, and he says it's always full of dickheads who want to fight.
Oh,
and there's a few bands that still do that. I kind of find that sometimes you go and if you go and see Stiff Little Fingers, they're one of those bands that are still going for that attracts a certain type of Larry fucking twat.
Okay.
And Weller tends to be the same kind of thing. It was a bit like how Manic Street Preachers went after Design for Life. You got people who just want to get drunk,
Right.
and it's all that kind of thing. I might have to throw something to the cats in a minute because can you hear them in the background?
I can hear something going on there, yeah.
Yeah. Shut up. I'm fucking podcasting. I'm a professional. I think I sorted that.
They care not.
Yes, so that's my number one, animals or creatures. The butterfly, being the creature, collector by the Jam.
All
Jake, it's over to you.
Okay. Well, another one that you don't automatically think of when you think of animals, but certainly it is an animal. It's a maggot. And I was into coarse fishing for a few brief months when I was about 10, 11 years old. I tried it.
Everybody was.
Yeah, it just seemed like a thing to do. And one of the most disturbing things about it, and one of the reasons, apart from my absolute lack of success at fishing, one of the reasons why I gave it up very quickly was handling maggots, which was a deeply horrible experience because they're repulsive little creatures, stink and wriggle and squirm and horrible.
So I never bothered. I always quite liked the smell as well. I don't know what it was.
You liked the smell of maggots?
I liked the smell of maggots. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what it was.
Not sensible anyway. But maggots,
and this will make you even sicker. When I went fishing for a little while, when I did fishing, I used to go with a guy called Mark Smith who we went to school with. I don't know whether you remember him. And he used to put maggots in his mouth just to gross everybody out.
Oh, yeah. I know somebody who used to do that as well. And they used to say it would calm them down. They wouldn't wriggle so much and he could get them on a hook. I don't know if that can't have been Mark Smith. There must have been somebody else. Maybe it's just a characteristic of some people from March. So
yes.
They like to put maggots
probably.
in their mouth.
Yeah, and lick windows.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. Anyway, Maggot is also the name of a song by Aussie band Amil and the Sniffers. And it's from their 2021 album, Comfort to Me.
I was trying to think where you were going with it. And that's, I remember now, yes.
It's Amil and the Sniffers. It's from the 2021 album, Comfort to Me, which is their second. And Amil and the Sniffers moniker comes from amyl nitrate, which was an interesting and, again, briefly enjoyed drug of choice in the early 80s. And the kids in March and elsewhere would get off on little bottles of amyl nitrate that you had in your pocket. And of all the intoxicants that we experimented with, that was one of the least satisfying, I think.
I totally agree. It just gave me a fucking headache.
Well, this is it.
To be honest,
you'd have a sniff.
Like, what's that about?
You'd wait 20 seconds, and then your heart rate would accelerate to about 3,000 BPM. That would last for about 30 seconds, and then you'd have a headache. And interestingly enough, that's exactly why they're called Amyl and the Nitrate, Amyl and the Sniffers, because that feeling is the kind of feeling that they think you have when listening to them. Really energetic, fast and furious, all over very quickly, and then you're left with a banging headache. So there you go. Yes. Anyway, so the first time I encountered Amyl and the Sniffers was on, I think it was their first appearance on Jules Holland. And to be honest, I didn't really think very much of them. It seemed quite lightweight, quite thin and scratchy, and I think it looked like they were all trying too hard. So I didn't really think anything more of them. But then in 2021... they released Guided by Angels, the single, which is fucking brilliant. I can't remember I heard it. It's probably on Radio 6, but whatever. It persuaded me to buy their records. And on record, they are much punchier, much better, much fuller sound. And it's raw music, rammed full of energy, and it's very confrontational. Themes like sex, social injustice, a lot about just dealing with life's disappointments, whether it's money, work, relationships. So it's very much of the kind of sound and thematics of punk music, although for some reason when you read about them they get referred to as an Aussie pub rock band as opposed to a punk band. I'm not sure why that is, but there you go. So this song, it's a love song of sorts. I'm not really 100% certain what it's about. There's a lot of referencing of being under red lights, so there's possible allusion to sex workers and having some kind of sexual carnal relations which are despite imperfections, not romantic, anything of that nature. I might be wrong, but it sounds like it's like that.
So maggot could refer to a small penis.
But it does. The part of the current refrain is "put your maggot in me, maggot, maggot, put your maggot in me" kind of thing. So possibly it's very down and dirty.
Sorry, I thought you were trying to proposition me then. Sorry, it was like my heart rate went up and everything.
It's like amyl nitrate. So Comfort to Me is certainly one of the best, or probably their best album. It's really good. And one of the things that I like about Amil and the Sniffers is that there are no pretensions. I like they're just straightforward honesty, because
Yes.
I went to see them a while ago in Nottingham, and as when you see them on TV or anywhere, they look like they've just stumbled out of a pool club. They play a few songs and then they're going back to the pool club, because there's no dressing up. Guitarist Declan Mertens and bassist Gus Roma both proudly sported mullets for a long while.
Yes.
There's no sense of we got to look a certain way. I'm not sure about Amil or Amy. Amy Taylor's the singer, because you never see her in any clothing which is unnecessarily covering flesh. She likes to have as much exposed as possible. I'm not sure whether that's because that's just how she feels comfortable, or whether she's making a statement of some kind. Either way, so it doesn't matter.
I think it's a bit of both, actually, because you can tell she works out, because she's very. I mean, I saw them a couple of years ago at the Roundhouse.
Yeah.
And fuck me, she didn't keep still for the.
She's hyperactive, definitely.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
And they were amazing. I loved that.
That
I
was
thought
great.
it was a great night. Yeah.
But I don't think her kind of wearing revealing clothing is anything about trying to look sexy, because if you see the way she moves and her gurning face and her frantic, there's nothing. Look how sexy I am about this. This is just somebody having mad fun, which is fantastic.
I think that's what it is. I think it's not. I'm having fun. I'm wearing what I want. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Basically, that's the message I kind of get from them.
Yeah,
she's very outspoken about political issues as well. Now she's got a platform.
She has.
She's she's been very outspoken, and good for her.
Yeah,
good for her. Women's rights, especially at gigs. She's very vocal at gigs about people fall over, pick them up. Look after the girls. Don't be wankers.
Yeah, she does that every gig, I think, because I've seen them. I've seen them live. I've seen them on TV, and there's always that bit where she's kind of like pick people up and look after girls and everything, which is fine, which is great. It's very.
It's great. That's the way it should be. Yeah. That's the way it should be.
Yeah. I don't know if you've. I think their last album, Cartoon Darkness. I don't know if you've heard that.
Yes, I've got it.
Have you?
Yes.
I'm not so keen on that.
Sparkly vinyl, I think, with or was it glow in the dark? It might be glow in the dark sparkly vinyl. I don't know. It's very nice. In fact, I think mine came with an autographed picture as well, which is quite nice.
But it's certainly more refined. It's not as raw and thrashing and enthusiastic. And Amy's still maniacal and as brash as can be. But in my humble opinion, it's kind of a little bit more restrained than I would have wanted. I would agree.
And anything with a love song called "Don't Need a Cunt Like You to Love Me" has gotta be. Actually, you could have gone for Snakes as well on that.
I don't think there's any shortage of songs about animals. There are fucking thousands of them, which is fine. It just gives you lots of opportunity to choose from a range of different areas, which I have done. So, Amil and the Sniffers, definitely a band worth catching. But as I say, if you haven't heard them, I'd recommend one of the first two albums or the EPs rather than straight into Cartoon Darkness, if it were me.
Yes. They've just re-released the first two EPs on a single record as well.
Yeah. Giddy Up and I can't remember what the other one's called. Yeah, no, they have.
Giddy Down. I don't know. I'm just being a trap for the sake of it.
Feeling giddy. Yeah, so there we go. That's our first entries on tonight's list then. So your number two then.
Okay, my number two is, probably kind of carries on a bit from yours.
Oh.
Because what happens when a maggot grows full and
fly.
I am the fly.
Wire.
Wire.
Brilliant song.
Yes. I play Wire relatively regularly, actually. I really like their first three LPs, and I always kind of overlooked them a bit during the punk days. I think I had an Outdoor Miner on a compilation, and I loved it. I still love it. I think it's a great. I mean, it's a pop single. Outdoor Miner, isn't it? It's a great pop single. And I think, and I Am the Fly is just completely, it's complete antithesis, really, because it's kind of got that kind ofness to it, hasn't it? Yeah, and that refrain of "I am the fly, fly in the ointment." It's whereas Outdoor Miners a lovely kind of almost a soft sounding song, but I think that was the beauty of Wire. They just kind of did whatever the fuck they wanted, didn't they?
They did, and I didn't. I think that The Fly is a great record. I didn't like Pink Flag. I didn't like the albums very much, and then I saw them live, and they were bloody brilliant. And I haven't been able to. I've not really looked very, very hard, but I've not been able to pick up any of their records that reflected the set they played that night that I saw them, which was fantastic.
Yeah, I really like Pink Flag. I mean, retrospectively, because at the time, like I say, I knew of a couple of the singles, and that was it. I didn't really get a chance to listen because, as I said, I think they were quite overlooked. And if you back in those days, if you had the records you could afford from Keith's, and if anything else, you had to lump it unless someone you knew had a copy,
or Woolworths was stocking it,
borrow it, or Woolworths was stocking it, yeah, and you could just nick it. But nobody listened to Wire.
No.
And it was really weird. They were just one of those overlooked punk bands I don't know if that was everywhere, but definitely in March. I think they were kind of largely ignored, which was a pity. Because I think if I'd have heard Pink Flag back in 1977, I'd have gone fucking wild for it, because it's almost a template for hardcore, American hardcore, with those short, sharp songs. They're all around about a minute and a half long.
Yeah,
aren't they?
It doesn't carry, the songs don't carry an awful lot of weight, though. They're not powerful songs. They're not songs that grab you and pick you up and fling you around the room. As I say, I didn't really think much to them, and I haven't listened to. I've got Pink Flag. I've got a couple of their albums.
Yeah, I think I've got Pink Flag. I don't think I've actually owned Chairs Missing anymore. I know I did have it, but I think that went in one of my great vinyl purges, because that was probably my favourite. And 154. 154 has grown on me. The older I get, because that's another kind of different kettle of fish as well, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, for those of you who don't know, Wire were a British band formed just around about the beginning of punk in like '76. They were Colin Newman, Graham Lewis, Bruce Gilbert, and George Gill, and Robert Gray. And I think George Gill was the original guitarist, and he broke his leg. I don't know whether it's a bizarre gardening accident or what, as seems to be with bands and
a gardening accident.
Well, that's what happened to Pat Smear, isn't it? He broke his leg in a gardening accident.
Right.
From Pat Smear, who currently with Foo Fighters. Yeah. So it ends up with just a 4-piece, and like I say, they released some fabulous stuff. But I think if anything, they were probably a little bit ahead of their time. But they've had covers. I mean, I know Big Black covered Heartbeat, one of their songs, and REM covered Strange on Document, album number 5. I think he said 4. I got
somebody would have complained.
REM fans, yeah, someone would have moaned. Yeah, album number 5. Oh no, it might have been album number 2. I can't. It was 5. It was 5. It was 5, definitely. Or what? Yeah. Great man. And one of my favourite stories about Wire is they split up, and they decided to get back together in 1985. And when they reformed, they referred to themselves as a beat combo, and then said they weren't going to do any of their old material. So they toured America and took with them a band called Ex-Lion Tamers, who are a Wire cover band from Hoboken, New Jersey, who played and used them as their opening act, who played all of the old songs, and then Wire played all the new songs. I just think that is the greatest fucking story ever. Absolutely fabulous story. So good for them. And I think that I could be wrong, and I've got a friend called Alan, who runs Different Kitchen Records, lives in March, and he's a massive Wire fan. So he'll correct me on anything I get wrong. But I'm pretty sure they are still going in some shape or form. Alan, let me know. But yes, he's got massive collection of Wire stuff. He's got a massive collection of Beach Boys stuff. He buys everything he can with the Beach Boys. And Against Me. So he's his record shop, A Different Kitchen, recommended online record shop if anyone fancies some good punk rock records. He used to sell lots of records on the No Idea label out of Florida, and it was because he's such a collector. He's got a copy of every single issue of the very first Against Me record. Something Axl Rose, I can't remember. Reinventing Axl Rose. He's got a copy of every single pressing. Okay. And there are fucking hundreds. Last time I went to his house, I think they were up to pressing number 120 or something. Oh, so he's got 120 different pressings of, and I think I'm bad. I think I'm bad. He's got so many bloody records. And he's got like test pressings and goodness knows what else. But yes, so yeah. So there you go. So that's me number 2. I am the fly. I am the fly. I am the fly. Fly in the ointment.
Yes. Okay, cool. Well, moving on to different territories entirely. And we're going to northern Scandinavia, which is an awesome part of the world. Glorious golden sunsets splashing across ragged mountains and pretty little coloured homes standing out from all the snowy, icy plains. And you're never far away from trolls in northern Scandinavia, as you come across them all over the place.
never far away from on fucking Facebook and Instagram either, I can tell you.
These are good trolls, but it's a great place. It's also where the Sami people call home, Sami, an indigenous ethnic group in northern Scandinavia who roam across northern Norway, Sweden, Finland and Russia, where they fur trap and herd reindeer and fish and generally live close to the earth and within nature. And a gentleman by the name of Andy Sombe is of that land, or Somby is of that land. And he is an associate professor of Faculty of Law at Tromsø University in Norway and specialises in the rights of indigenous people. But he is also a musical artist as well. And the music, the traditional music of the Sami people includes something called yoiking, which is Joik or Yoik, depending on.
Sounds like something you do with your pants pulled too tight. Yoiking.
And like a lot of ethnic,
it sounds like the Swedish translation for wedgies.
Yeah, it does a bit. You're quite right.
Did you get your own back on him? Yeah, I gave him a fucking good yoiking. Ooh.
But it is what the people call their traditional singing, and they're under lots of pressure from modernity, from missionaries and politics and commerce and environmental degradation and so on. Boo. So they're under a lot of pressure. But Andy Sombe is one of those trying to keep alive the yoiking singing tradition, and it's a deeply spiritual and largely improvised way of singing, but it's fascinating and it's captivating at the same time. So the track I've chosen here is a track simply called Wolf by Andy Sombe. And it begins with him kind of doing a bit of like howling like a wolf gently. And after about 4 minutes in, he starts to get really into this yoik. And if you've not...
Do you want to give us a couple of verses?
I don't. If you're not familiar with it, which is entirely understandable, it's not dissimilar to what you would hear from native North American tribal people or the native people of northern Siberia. It's wordless, it's kind of shamanic chanting, and this kind of vocal style is the basis for yoiking. So in this particular record, this is the last track on the album. It's 18 minutes long, but it is absolutely fascinating.
No way.
And
who saw that cover?
It's absolutely fascinating, and he's doing this yoiking, and it gets progressively gradually more and more aggressive, and as he moves towards the closing parts of it, it sounds enormously painful. It sounds as if he's literally tearing his larynx to shreds. I kind of
It sounds like he's had his pants pulled up his
yoiking,
arse.
absolutely, and wrapped around his throat. I think it's unlikely he did much talking after he recorded this, but it sounds absolutely ragged. And then for the final few moments, he reverts back down to this simply more gentle howling like a wolf. And it is mesmerising. And part of the reason why it's so fascinating is because of the sound around it, because it's essentially a field recording, and it's been captured by ex-Cabaret Voltaire man Chris Watson, who's become a field recording expert. And it kind of gets brought right into your room, because alongside the yoiking, which is the only kind of composition of instrument beyond the environment, there is just the environment. So you hear the birds and the sound. It's almost like you can hear the sound of the air of northern Scandinavia. It sounds absolutely beautiful, and it's right in front of you. So it's fascinating, but you got to stick with it, because it just develops into this kind of vocal workout, which just sounds worse than anything that Napalm Death did vocally, I think. But it's from the album Yoiking with the Winged Ones, which is a great album. It's on Ash International, which is a label run by Mike Harding of Touch Records. So he's done loads of other stuff. I think it was also co-founded by oh God, what's his name? Something Rimbaud, who's Scanner, the electronic sound artist Scanner as well.
Yeah.
But Ash International catalogue.
Was it Robin?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is
Rimbaud?
Robin Rimbaud, yeah. But the catalogue for Ash Records is Ash International is quite interesting as well, because they've got loads and loads of stuff with catalogue numbers that isn't music. Ringtones and sound files and T-shirts and a solar PV installation is one of their catalogue number. So I'm not really sure what that's about.
Jeepers.
It's the only record he's released, and it's 2016. So I think it was just a demonstration of this is what yoiking is, well recorded, rather than a recording career, because, as I say, he's more of an academic than anything. But it's well worth a listen, and I'm not sure if you'll find it on Spotify to put on the playlist, because I haven't checked these things out, but one would hope it is.
I'll check it. I'll check under pop R&B. What did you say the name of the album was? Yoiking Cole's Mary I'm Sold?
I shall send you it rather than try and spell it out and so on. I shall type it through.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, I'll have a look for it. Yeah, I'm not
Not certain it'll be on there.
hopeful that it will be on there. No, but yeah, okay, right. So my next one is I haven't done a big animal yet. I don't think I've got any big ones coming up actually, but this is a rather small animal. This is called The Rat by The Walkmen.
I don't know it.
It was you should listen to it. It's an absolutely amazing song. It was released back in the 2000s and got played a lot on MTV2, which is where I would have. So there was a kind of grainy old black and white video for it.
Okay.
And it's an amazing song. It's one of the most propulsive songs I've ever heard, but also one of the most desperate. His voice is a real pleading, got this real pleading tone to it, and it's absolutely amazing. And it was played, so often on MTV2 back in the day.
Give me a clue. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what kind of music this is at all.
Well, it's kind of. I suppose it was almost punk, okay. But they were an indie. They were kind of an indie rock band. I imagine. I can't think, however, how else they would have been described around the time.
Well, that's fine. Yeah.
Kind of one of these New York indie rock bands, right. And the video is really dark. And I think the video itself and the song itself gave a completely different idea of what the band really sounded like. Because when I listened to it was taken from an album called Bows and Arrows. And when I listened to the album, I was quite excited to listen to it first time. First time I listened to it, I kind of remember going, "Oh, is that it?" Because the Rat, the song, just is like head and shoulders above anything else on the record. And it's so I can't remember ever being so disappointed by an album, to be honest. Right. It was kind of, it was such a letdown because I mean, without playing the song to you, I can't really. You'll have to listen to it, and the same to you, listeners. I'm sure loads of people will know exactly the song I'm talking about because it was very popular. But yeah, and after that, I never really. I mean, I know they did other, they did 3 or 4 LPs after it, but I never really heard any more about them. And it was one of those songs where it just kind of, there was such an intensity to it. Such a, and it was a lovely wall of noise as well. I think they had, there was an organ in there somewhere, and these guitars were just going, and he was just, it was so desperate sounding, like I said. And then it finishes, and then the next one's like, fucking hell, and that was that. I think that was one of the reasons I kind of picked it, because I couldn't really think of anyone else who'd really done that, who'd had one good song, or no one of any substance anyway, one good song, and then everything else is a bit like it just puts everything else in such a shadow, that they never quite could come back from it.
With one good song, I'm not sure. I did talk about Autek, Try Repete being one good album, and the rest is quite dull.
Yeah,
but this
was just one good song. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know whether, I'm sure people who are listening, there's probably some Walkman fan who will say, well, you should listen to this. You should, and I'm open to offers, But I think I actually listened to it today. I listened to Bows and Arrows today, and I had exactly the same feeling. I just, first track came on, I was like, meh. And then the Rat is track 2, and I was like, yep, here we go. And then that finishes, you're like, oh, bloody hell. And then the next one comes on, it's like, yeah, here we fucking go,
Okay.
And nothing really, nothing really grabbed me. I mean, I've even had listened to albums where one song really stands out, but everything else is
it's got merit.
It's got merit, yeah. Whereas I just can't find anything on Bows and Arrows that, and I think, is it because is that song that fucking good that it just overshadows everything else, or are the rest of the songs just a bit turgid, really?
It might be an obvious question to ask, but is there any chance that particular song was written by a different band member, or is a cover version of another song or something?
No, it just seems to be like a complete one-off. Right. There's none of that intensity in any of the other songs, I think. Right. I think that is it's such an intense sounding song. It really is. It really sounds like, it's like, right, write me one fucking intense song or you're all dead. And they fucking nail it, and it's like, oh, brilliant. Well, you can fuck off then, you're not going to die today. It is that good a song. Yeah, and luckily it had a rat in the title, so, so, yeah. Yeah, well, I think I need to take a breath now. I got
very worked up about that,
excited. The rat.
Talking about getting worked up, I did actually hear Turnstile for the first time a week or two ago.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was all right. I didn't think it was fantastic, but I don't suppose you've heard anything from them about their pricing in response?
No. I was expecting an email say, I'm so sorry, Dave. Here's a free T-shirt. But nothing, wankers.
Okay. I just wondered.
I think I told you I'm working at one of the festivals in London. I'm working at All Points East, doing a couple of ticketing on a couple of them in the autumn, and one of the ones I'm doing is Tyler the Creator, and the Turnstile are playing a set. Anyway. So I'm hoping I can get 45 minutes off to run off and see them,
just to argue,
and then I can
with
stand at the. Just so I stand at the side of the stage going, your fucking T-shirt's extortionate.
Well, best of luck.
As one does. Yeah, thanks. I think I probably need it.
Okay, my third one on the list then is a track called Octopus, which is most certainly an animal. It's the Man with No Name mix, and it's by Art of Trance. So I've got this on a couple of different albums. This is a 1996 release. It's on Platypus Records Volume 2 compilation album, but I got it on a couple of other trance albums as well. So it's clearly, not that I know an awful lot about trance, the environment of trance music, but it's clearly anthemic, a big kind of hit record in that area. But it is a storming trance track. I do like trance, and Orthodoxy says that trance is a particular style of electronic dance, but I think it's a bit of a blunt moniker because so much music seeks to harness that transcendental feeling of repetition. And we've talked about repetition a great deal, that sensation of hypnosis.
We have talked about repetition.
We have talked about repetition a great deal, haven't we?
And also we've talked about repetition a great deal, I've noticed.
Oh dear. So yeah,
the old ones are the
best. Yes,
just like us.
So this is electronic version of trance, dance trance, unlike African or Asian or stoner rock, all of which rely on those same kind of triggers to get people, to get the audience into a sense of kind of mesmeric hypnosis. But this is electronic dance music, and it's fantastic. It's quite florid, I suppose, in terms of some electronic dance music, because some electronic dance music can be really stripped down to just the machinery. We talked about the field on a previous session. I think we've talked about Regis and Sandworld District and so on. They're just the mechanics of the repetition, and I think that's brilliant. I don't usually like so much of the additional stuff that goes on these, with the more florid, with vocal samples and lots of electronics. But this one, it works really, really well. So it's built around a lot of arpeggiators and arpeggios, which are chords broken into individual notes and sequenced, and bass drum with kind of quite sophisticated interplay with hi-hat sounds in it as well. So there are multiple arpeggiated patterns weaving through and around each other, and they're all great little melodies running around the straight 4/4 kind of bass drum and hi-hats. Another trope of electronics is trance music is the drop. So it's got one or two of those where lots of the sonic accoutrements fall away, and you're just left with the bare bones ploughing on, and then it all kind of ramps up again and bursts out again, which is...
Is that the bit where you start pumping your fist? That's
right,
in the air?
Yes. It's a little bit contrived, I suppose, but you look at any genre of music and there'll be certain aspects of it which is characteristic of that music. With this kind of music, that just happens. There's no difference to kind of verse, chorus, middle eight, verse, chorus in pop music or whatever. They all have their characteristic formats, and this is very much like that. But it is really, really good indeed. It's a great example. And it's by Art of Trance, as I say, who's a UK DJ producer by the name of Simon Paul Berry. And he runs Platypus Records as well as Poltergeist and Vicious Circles, which are names he records under, and Union Jack. He describes his music as deep trance, which he then expands to say is techno-based hypnotic progressive house with depth and occasional psychedelic and melodic moments. It's a bit of a mouthful, but I can't disagree with it.
I was going to say, I bet you ChatGPT'd that sucker.
Not a lot to say about it. I think it's just a fine piece of octopus-like music. And I suppose it's like an octopus with all these arpeggiators running around and twisting into each other. But it's good.
I see. You're making reference to the octopus's tentacles.
The tentacles. They're not tentacles.
the tentacles.
They're not tentacles.
Oh.
They're arms, I think. Or was it starfish? I might have got the wrong way round.
Do you know what these are? Fingers. They're fucking fingers. 2 metre ones.
Make gestures you like. I don't care.
Oh, I thought octopi had tentacles.
Anyway.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you about
octopi,
underwater creatures.
Moving on.
Yes, moving on indeed. Yeah. Oh, that was I've written that down. When we have a break, I'll have a quick listen to it because I quite like the sound of that. I do like a bit of trance. I do like a bit of trance.
Yes.
A bit of trance. Yes. I am eyes down with the kids. So. Oh dear.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So my what am I on? Number 4,
Yeah.
isn't it? Slightly moving up in animal size to a cat. And my next choice is Cat Scratch Fever by Fudge Tunnel.
Oh, right.
Which is a cover, I believe, of a Ted Nugent song. But that's by the by. I just the fact of the matter is, I fucking love Fudge Tunnel.
You do?
I think they're one of my favourite bands ever. I've got a massive collection of Fudge Tunnel vinyl. I went through a period where I kept finding every time I saw something on Discogs, it was like Fudge Tunnel, white label test pressing, £5. I'm like, fuck, I'll have that. Just for the hell of it, really. But they're a great band. Formed in Nottingham in 1989, I think.
I didn't know they were from Nottingham.
Yes, they are. Yeah, your backyard, mate.
It is now.
Your
yeah,
backyard.
Yeah. Perhaps literally in my backyard.
Yes, absolutely. With the picnic bench. And the airplane we crashed in there about 7 or 8 episodes ago.
It's quite a happening back garden I have, and I hadn't really thought about it.
So Alex Newport on guitar and vocals, David Riley on bass, Adrian Parkin was the drummer, and they were kind of one of the first, I suppose, well, not one of the first, but one of the first British kind of noise rock bands, I would think, from that, noise rock sludge metal. I think they probably even maybe career off into Pigfuck.
Do you think so?
I don't know. I just really love that genre. I'd never heard of it, and I'm going to use it wherever. Pigfuck, yeah. What, like Pulp, for example? Oh, Blur. They were definitely Pigfuck references.
David Cameron.
Just for the fact that yes, yeah. Well, that's probably where it came from when he got whatever. So kind of coming around from they were the noise rock side of grunge all around that time, I think. Had their records released on Earache Records, home at the time of Godflesh, and lots of other weirdly named bands. Pitch Shifter were from Nottingham as well, weren't they?
They were, yeah.
Yeah, and released 3 records and a compilation. So the first one, which is what Cat Scratch Fever came from, was their. It kind of had a couple of titles, didn't it? It was. I think it had 2 titles on there. It was called Hate Songs in E Minor was the main one, but it also was came under Fudge Tunnel's first movement as well, or something.
Right, was it?
Which I think was probably a poo joke. I don't know, because Fudge Tunnel was slang for bumhole, isn't it? Yeah. So
we had Butthole Surfers and Fudge Tunnel. That would be a lineup, wouldn't it?
Yes, the Arse Fest.
And that was in a band called Arse.
And you could probably you could probably have the Cheeky Girls to support them as well.
That would be a hell of a lineup. What a show!
Yeah, and any band you can think of with crack in the name as well. So Hate Songs in E Minor, released on Earache in 1991, and it is a superb LP. It's fucking noisy. It's so noisy. My one regret, I never got to see Fudge Tunnel live.
Oh, I did.
Did you?
Yes, and I thought they were better live than on record, but I don't think I like the records as much as you do. They're okay,
I love the records.
Yeah.
I think they're great. I was a big fan.
Yeah.
They'd had a couple of EPs out before, a single and an EP, I think, which I'm pretty sure on Vinyl Solution, if I remember rightly. So I've got all them knocking around over there. But yeah, great band. Kind of, like a sludgy, grungy, noisy combination, really. And this, I regret not seeing their live shows because, I didn't get to see them because everyone hated them. All my friends hated Fudge Tunnel. I was the only person who thought they had any merit whatsoever, and no one would ever go.
It was Cambridge I went to see them.
Was it?
It was at the Junction, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I don't remember that. I fucking can't believe I missed that.
Well, that weren't when you were playing as Sailor Boys, was it? Perhaps.
No, don't think so. No. It would have been after that. So 1989, 90. I was living down in near Cambridge then.
Yeah, right.
Having said that, I mean, for some reason, we never really knew, other than what was on at the Corn Exchange, and the Junction actually. Never really knew what was on because the boat race. There was the boat race around that time.
City Limits.
City Limits, yeah. There was the
Portland Arms.
Sea Cadet Hall.
Sea Cadet Hall, yeah.
Portland Arms didn't tend to have that many bands on around in those days. But I never got to see them. But they were a great band. And Cat Scratch Fever, I think, was a bonus track on the first LP. And they were, and like I say, they were kind of big fans of Ted Nugent, or as they refer to him, Ted the Nugent. Although I think a lot of it was kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Because everyone else thought he was a twat, didn't they? I think so. So I think there was, and they were renowned for their sense of humour. And they were really fun. I mean, I can remember seeing clips or hearing live clips, and their banter with the crowd was quite they were quite famous for that, for having long, amusing chats.
I don't remember much of that.
And there's not much chance of them reforming. Alex Newport went on to be quite an in-demand producer of rock records. I think he did. He did that band whose name I forgot last week, whose name I've forgotten again this week. At the Drive-In. I think he did At the Drive-In. He's done a lot of kind of heavier bands. He was in a couple of bands after Fudge Tunnel as well. And I think David Riley, I think he plays bass in a band called Conan at the moment. They're pretty good. Okay. They're noisy, kind of sludge rocky, type of thing. Not bad at all.
Okay.
So that's my number 4, Fudge Tunnel. If anyone wants to hear some pretty good noisy rock, they're your lads.
They're your lads. Okay.
They're your lads.
My number 4 then. It's another Wolf.
Just before we do that, we just had a break, listeners. And while we were on the break, I had a quick look. I was having a quick listen to Octopus, and then I had another listen to The Rat. And just talking of a song overshadowing everything else on the LP, it's really interesting because I was looking at, and they've got the plays for the whole of that Bows and Arrows album. You've got, for instance, the last track, track 7 has 490,000 listens. Track 3 has 1,745,000. Track 4 has 2,500,000. The Rat has 49,701,000, which kind of justifies what I was saying earlier. It's one of those songs that and I just listened to it again. It's a fucking amazing song. Okay. Absolutely amazing. But 49 million plays. It's got 47 million more than any of the
speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Songs. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. But anyway, carry on.
Did you like Octopus?
I loved Octopus. Yes, thought it was really good. I really liked it.
Good.
I will definitely check out some more Art of Trance songs.
And Union Jack, who are equally as good. In fact, most of the stuff on his label, Platypus, is very good. You get these Platypus compilation albums, and quite a lot of the different bands that are on those have him behind them somewhere anyway, playing something. Right. But it's all really good. Anyway, so my number 4 is back to Wolves again, and it's a track called Night Wolf by Boren and the Club of Gore, which is a very clumsy name for a band, but they were originally just called Boren, but now they got this and the Club of Gore added, which makes it sound a bit odd.
I do like them. I think they're really good. Actually.
They are superb. Yes. I first came across them in Selector Disc, which was an independent record store that used to be in Nottingham many, many years ago, and they were playing it over the PA system. We're playing Black Earth LP over the PA system, and I thought this is absolutely fucking brilliant. So I went and bought it, but they didn't have any other of their records. And at the time, wherever I looked, I couldn't find any of their records. So I ended up writing to the band directly in Germany, and I bought all their albums from them directly.
Oh, awesome.
It's definitely unique music. I don't know of anybody else that's doing something quite like this. They call it doom-ridden jazz, and it's part ambient, part jazz, part black metal, but it is dark. And it's very slow, very full of space. It's uber restrained drums. Sometimes it's just the lightest tickling of a snare, and so just a tap of a ride cymbal or a hi-hat, just brushes skipping across the surfaces.
Kind of like it's like.
It's keeping the thing moving along, but just it's glacial. You got 8-string bass, and then it's embellished.
Fucking hell!
Yeah, no, it's very lovely sound.
I didn't even know they existed.
It's lovely.
An 8-string bass.
Yeah.
Bloody hell!
And that's all embellished with bits of sax and piano. Very mellow keys, Fender Rhodes, Mellotron, some vibraphone, just whispers of bleak electronics. It's hugely atmospheric. The interesting thing is they all come from...
I'm a bit disappointed that you didn't do any kind of any impressions of like a or something. Or anything like that. That would have been like the icing on the cake. Really.
Is your part.
It was very erudite and a lovely description, but the odd ting or something like that.
No, I'm not. You're the one that do the sound effects.
Something like that, Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd warned me before, I could have bunged a few in.
You could have done.
With the sax.
Well, the sax and the keyboard, they play these lovely, I think it's probably improvised because the songs are usually quite long, and they play these non-repetitive kind of, as I say, melodies, but lines, and they all sound fantastic, very sophisticated improvisations.
I've always had a bit of a dislike of anything improvised. I don't trust it. I don't know what it is.
Sometimes it works.
Yeah, when someone says, "Oh, it's improvised," I'm like, "Oh, fuck me," because I just think I think it's because I think of improvised jazz with all that fucking skronking.
There's no skronking in this.
Yeah, because I like a bit of jazz, but as soon as they go, it's improvised, I'm like, right, where's my fucking coat? I'm off. Because I can't bear all that. So fuck off.
When it works well, and certainly when you read the record reviews every month in The Wire, and there's hundreds of record reviews in The Wire, the moment it says this is improvised jazz, I tend to stop reading and skip to the next one. I'm completely with you on that.
Yeah.
But I think arguably you're missing quite a lot of good music. It's just wading through all of the other stuff to find it.
I had a really bad experience a few years ago when I was working. I used to listen. There was a website, and they had a radio station, and it was somewhere up north. And there was this, and this northern guy used to do this show, and it was about an hour of experimental music, electronic music. It's really good. And one day I went for a walk, and I put my headphones on, and I missed what the track was called. And all of a sudden, this fucking noise came on, and it went on and on and on and on and on, and it was the weirdest something. And I kept thinking, my MP3 player's broken, my phone's broken, or however it was I was listening to it. I thought there's something going on, and I unplugged my headphones and plugged them back in, and it was exactly the same. And I stopped it and started it again, and it was exactly the same. So then I reloaded everything and went to the place where I was, and it was exactly the same. And I was thinking, what the fuck is this? It was the most weirdest bonkers sound I'd ever heard in my life. And after about 10 minutes of listening to it, this voice comes on and goes, and that was a hurdy-gurdy improvisation. And I thought, a fucking hurdy-gurdy improvisation? All you have to do is turn the fucking handle on a hurdy. How the fuck do you improvise? Do you just every now and again stop and then turn it backwards a bit? I don't know. Drove me fucking mad. I thought I was having a fucking aneurysm or something.
There used to be an online.
So I just thought I'd share that. I think that's where my distrust of improvisation comes from as well.
There used to be an online radio station from America. I think Soma Radio. I don't know if you've come across that. And it's all drones.
I don't think so. So that wasn't Soma the food
in Brave New World.
Soylent Green. Oh, Brave New World.
Yeah,
sorry,
right,
yeah.
Yes. But it's drones, and I quite like a drone record, and we've talked about certain levels of ambience that are almost drones and that. But
oh yeah, totally.
I came across Soma years and years ago, and I thought, brilliant radio station that just plays drones. That soon gets very fucking boring, I can tell you.
I can imagine. Fucking hell.
Because they got all these bands doing drones, and you think you could be just one guy doing just this one synth or something, using a different preset every time and holding one gig.
Yeah, or putting something on it, fucking off for half an hour.
Yeah.
And having a cup of tea or something, then coming back and taking the weight off of that particular key, moving it to another one.
Sadly, I don't listen to that anymore, but I still like to listen to a drone every so often. But anyway, neither of those.
I didn't mean to
neither of those
interrupt with my experience of
it all adds colour to the stories, certainly.
Absolutely.
So Bowen and the Club of Gore is music for late nights, and the interesting thing is, the thing you probably wouldn't guess from listening to any of their records is that the members of Bowen and the Club of Gore all tumbled out of some grindcore punk and death metal bands. So they were steeped in a sort of
I remember
noise.
reading that and being fucking astounded. I was like, what?
Yeah. So just I think they just got fed up with that path and came to the same place altogether, that we want to do something much more restrained, much more space filled, and they certainly do pull it off. One of the things that did surprise me on one occasion is I've never really seen or read anything of them anywhere before, and I was reading a book about international trade policy by former trade negotiator Dmitry Grozubinski. And
fucking hell, you're so rock and roll.
I know. But I was reading this book about international trade policy, and then suddenly, completely unexpectedly, the author describes himself how at one point he's happily sitting in his place in Switzerland listening to Bo Red and the Club of Gore. And I thought, wow, of all the places I expected to see it mentioned, it wasn't there. It's a great book, by the way, Why Politicians Lie About Trade by Dmitry Grozubinski. It's well worth a read.
I'll put it on my list of stuff to buy and then never read.
Of which I'm sure you've got an extensive list.
Of which I've got fucking loads, yes. I've been struggling with 2 books for about a month now. I fucking can't get anywhere with them. Oh, dear.
Anyway, this track, you'll be pleased to know, it's a very brief 16 and a half minutes long.
Okay.
But it's a tour de force. It's superb, and it's from their excellent album from 2000. It's a double album called Sunset Mission on the Epistrophe label. Superb album, as all of them are. And you've got Christoph Kloser's tenor sax, Morton Gass's mellow keys, interweaving across this delicate nightscape that's supported and carried along by Robin Rodenberg and Thornton Benning on bass and drums respectively. It is truly contemplative, it's really reflective, and it stills the mind. When you've had a day of the news or work or relationships or conflict or whatever, there's nothing that's going to soothe you better than turning the lights down, shutting yourself away, and putting on some Bo Ren and the Club of Gore, because it's more it's more interesting than a drone by a long way, but it's not music that demands that you are engaged with it. It just carries you to calmer shores, and it's fabulous.
It's the keys. The keys was always the part of that I love.
It's Rhodes, that wonderful mellow Rhodes and Mellotrons and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
It has a sound. All of their records have a sound of almost timelessness. It could be music that was recorded last week or music that was recorded 100 years ago almost.
Yeah, totally. No, I totally agree. And I really like them as well. Good. And I really should listen to them more, because I don't think I've listened to them for quite some time now, but I'll definitely pick some out tomorrow and have a listen. Excellent. Okay, so we're up to my last one. And as normal, I'm going to completely outdo you by having two animals, creatures in my title.
Oh no, beaten.
Yes, and this song is called "Can Your Pussy Do the Dog?"
Oh,
by
is that the Cramps?
the Cramps. Yes, indeed. Yes, I love the Cramps.
Cramps are great.
Another band that I really don't listen to as much as I should. They're always an afterthought, really, and I don't know why, because there were a couple of Cramps LPs that I absolutely fucking love. Yeah. Now, "Can Your Pussy Do the Dog" is from A Date with Elvis, released in 1986. While I was going through all of their other LPs, I was really surprised at how late everything was released. I'd kind of thought it was released a lot earlier, because they were formed in 1976. Mm-hmm. But the first LP, "Songs the Lord Taught Us," taught us, not taught us. That wasn't another animal, is it? That fucking got you, didn't it?
That's just a wonderful concept. I need to start a new religion.
That was released in 1980.
Oh, gosh.
And for some reason I thought, I know but previous to that, I think they'd had a lot of singles out on, I think they were on IRS for a long while, along with the Police and various other
strange bedmates
bands. Yes, yeah, absolutely. So basically, I mean, they were formed around the duo of Lux Interior and Poison Ivy Rorschach, otherwise known as Eric Lee Perkheiser, who stole the name Lux Interior from an old car commercial. Found that out today in my research. And Poison Ivy was Christy Milana Wallace. And they were a couple for right up until Lux's death.
God, that must be some years ago. Was it 10 years ago?
2009.
It was more than 10 years ago. Huh?
2009 he died, yeah.
God.
Yeah, yes, I was very, very surprised at that.
How old was he?
Oh, no idea. I think...
He's looking at Google.
Oh, I was kind of trying to remember. I did look earlier and I can't remember. I think he was in his 60s.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was in his 60s. Because as far as I'm aware, Poison Ivy is still alive. So. But they were great bands. I mean, they were kind of the start of the psychobilly type of thing, kind of a punk rockabilly type of genre, really, wasn't it? A mishmash,
horror show, comic book horror show kind of thing. Wasn't
it? Lots of references to horror films and the like, and old horror films, old 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s horror films, Frankenstein, Dracula. They loved all that, and a lot of their songs were cover versions as well. They had a compilation in '83, Off the Bone, which was all of their early singles. I mean, and all of them were pretty much covers, and all of them were pretty much awesome as well. One of their singles, Goo Goo Muck, was recently used in the TV series Wednesday.
Oh, was it?
About Wednesday Addams. Yeah, she did a dance.
Well, that suits.
To it. Yeah, did a dance to it at her prom.
Okay.
Which obviously that took off. But after, so the first album was Songs the Lord Taught Us. Second album was Psychedelic Jungle. So you still laugh at Songs the Lord Taught Us.
School was going to work for me, that one. It never clicked before.
And then I think they had a couple of years when they couldn't record anything because of record company issues, legal bollocks and whatnot.
I kind of remember him having a period of illness as well, I think.
Quite possibly.
I may be mixing up with somebody else, but that may or may not be true.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they were playing until, I think they played live until about 2006. And then I'm pretty sure they retired, or he retired. And then, and apparently, completely unexpected death at relatively young age, I suppose. But great stage shows. I saw them once at the Reading Festival in 1990, and they were fucking amazing. I think they headlined one of the nights, and they were just amazing.
Raucous.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, very, very raucous. I got a feeling I saw them at the Corn Exchange a few years ago, but I know they played, but I can't actually remember if I went or not. I thought I had, but the more I think about it, I'm not sure whether I made it to the gig or not. But yeah, a fantastic band. If you've never heard of the Cramps, I mean, give them a bash, because, well, I say that now. I mean, most people probably have, because they really, their profile was suddenly heightened by that Wednesday.
I don't know how. I mean, Wednesday is still quite niche-ish, isn't it? So I guess there's a lot of people out there. I haven't seen it.
Possibly, but yeah. Well, if you haven't, then go and buy some Cramps records or listen to them on. We'll stick a couple on there because they are great. I saw them in the mid '80s in at Hammersmith, and they were fantastic. And he with his tight leather trousers and his high heels and his makeup and that, he was just such a character, kind of almost Pete Murphy-esque in the way he behaved. Totally, yeah.
And then Poison Ivy, wearing very little, she played the guitar in such an easy way. It was just, however ferocious the music was, it's stomping the music, she was just swaying, kind of calm, almost like
looking bored, really, wasn't she?
Which was certainly a character. But they were great. Yeah, there's a female on the drums as well. I can't remember what her name was.
Yeah, they had. I can't remember. I know the only drummer I remember was Nick Knox.
Nick Knox.
Because I thought it was a great name. They did a really good.
It might have been the bass player that was a woman, actually, not the drummer.
I think it was because they did a live album called Rockin' and Reelin' in Auckland, New Zealand. And they had a female bass player then,
that was
a fucking brilliant live LP. That was absolutely amazing.
There's a video of them playing a gig in an insane asylum, which is quite strange.
Yeah. That was from 1979, I think. They took one of those great big old Sony Portapack video cameras to the California State Mental Hospital in Napa.
Yes, yeah.
Napa.
That's it. Napa.
And I think that was pretty much before they'd even had an album out. I mean, they'd probably had a few singles out then. Because they were on the Tube at one point as well. They played a set on the Tube. I remember that as well.
Yeah.
And also Smell a Female. That was
That's
a
great album
LP.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, I don't listen to them as much as I should, really. I'll need to put some of those out over the course of the next few days. Good choice.
Same. Yes, thank you.
Okay,
over to you for your number 5.
Number 5, the final one is a song called The Son of Black Horse River by Wang Zhao, and it's from the 2023 album.
Bless you.
Culturally inappropriate.
I like to get a sneeze joke in once a week if I can.
Yes, well, this is Wang Zhao. It's from his 2023 album of the same name, The Son of the Black Horse of Black Horse River, on WV Sorcerer Records, which in itself is a re-release of the original recording from 2007. Wang Zhao doesn't really have a concept of home. He kind of says that he eschews the concept of home. He was born in Jiangxing, but he grew up in the Gobi Desert, and then he lived in Tibet and then Yunnan. But he's a bit of a wanderer, really, and he hasn't recorded very much at all. I think this actually is the only album he's recorded. And he plays the dombra, which is a stringed instrument, which is ordinarily used by Kazakhs and Uzbeks and Tatars, amongst others. And his vocal is this weathered, worn, full of grit and life vocal. It's all in Chinese, so I've got no fucking idea what he's singing about, but he really means it. And it sounds great. And his singing has, again, that shamanic cadence which conjures images of monks in isolated communities, sorcerers in remote places, all untouched by modernity. And it's great. Apparently, the whole album was recorded in a couple of hours after drinking lots of wine, and there was no.
I'm sure you've done a few there, haven't you?
You end up recording nothing for 3 days in a session, but he was very much more productive. And it's true, you know. When I was in a band, you know, as a drummer, you'd go in the studio and you'd have all of your tracks laid down. You was always first. You'd lay all your tracks down in half an hour, 45 minutes, and then you'd have 3 fucking days listening to the guitarists and vocalists wanking on about all the stuff that they're going to do. Very, very boring. Mind-numbingly boring. But this was 2 hours, all done. And it was Wang, assisted by a guy or girl called Obul on percussion, somebody called Wu Junda on mouth harp and chorus vocal and tambour. It's really, really good. And as I say, I think as far as I can tell, it's his only release to date. He's out there wandering as a nomadic, shamanic folk troubadour, travelling the world and performing probably a lot more than just this album. I'm sure he's got a whole repertoire of music, but he just hasn't been... I don't think he's been interested in committing any more of it to recording than this 2007 recording. But it's really good. There's not.
Well, if he can knock an album out in 2 hours, I'm not sure why. It's not like it's going to take all day. He's still got time to go to the shops, do the fucking washing.
Well, apparently he recorded it and then disappeared straight back to Yunnan again. So I don't know where he is now. I don't know what he's doing. There's almost nothing about him online anywhere. This record is released by WV Sorcerer Productions, which is a French-Chinese label. They're very, very interesting and very, very beautifully packaged as well. Obi strips and coloured vinyl. They're very, very nice indeed. But I put it on there because he deserves to be heard for this record. Again, not sure if it's on Spotify, but it's some fabulous music.
So he deserves to be heard, but he probably won't be because he's not fucking Spotify.
Yes, he won't care. He won't know.
Well, no.
So it's a relatively brief one to round up. But whilst I haven't got an awful lot to say, hopefully it's on Spotify. You give a listen. And here's something different.
Yeah, I'll probably get it wrong and stick Wang Chung on or something. So. Fucking dance all days. I don't know what fucking think of this. What's that got to do with animals?
Oh God. Yes. So there we go.
Oh dear. Wonderful. So we're at the end of Creatures.
We are.
Fantastic. Brilliant job. I enjoyed that. That was good fun. Yep. Okay, so before we go, Jake, what have you been listening to this week?
Well, I've been listening to lots and lots, but the 5 that I've gone to mention is an album called Dissever by Empty Set.
All right.
Their 2025 album, which is fantastic, as all their records are. An album called Olympic Games by Cyanide, Sii-Nai. I think it's pronounced Cyanide, from 2011. Again, fantastic album. Another one, an album called Hijos del Sol by Sacred Lodge from 2019. An album called Nighttime People by The Bamboos from 2018. And from 2024, fabulous album called All Is Dust by Kakara, who are fabulous.
Fabulous. Well, much overuse of the word fabulous.
Possibly,
there,
but they are all fabulous.
Excellent.
What about you, David? What have you been listening to?
Well, this week I have mainly been listening to, been playing Electrolane, the Power Out. Forgot what it's called then. They were a Brighton band from the 2000s. Lots of Farfisa.
Oh, right.
On that one, because we all love it. Because we all love an organ.
Some more than others, right?
I've also been listening to. I can't read my own writing. It looks like a spider walked through a puddle of ink and then fucking raced across my page. Scientist, Seducer, Dubwise,
cool.
From 1979. The new Underscores LP, which is called You. Underscores is American girl. Does lots of kind of dubsteppy, emo, 16-bit, 18-bit, however many bits, R&B type stuff. It's really good. Yeah, it's really good anyway. Everybody to Kenmure Street by Barry Burns of Mogwai, which is a soundtrack to a film about when they tried to take immigrants off the street in Glasgow, I think it was, a few years ago. There's a big film being made about it. And finally, big film as opposed to a little film. Yeah, well, it could be a medium film. I don't know. And then finally, Earth and Black Noise: Geometry of Murder, Extracapsular Extraction Inversions, which is a remix of by Black Noise of Earth LP. It's very good, very noisy. A lot of people
remix and re-record Earth music for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, there was one not long ago. The Bug did one, and J.K. Broderick.
Yeah, there's been a few.
It was very good. Yes. So that's what I've been listening to this week.
Marvelous.
Jake. Obviously, before we go, we need to say hello to the greatest playlist ever chaps from America. I was listening to them this morning, and this week I voted for REM because I always have to vote for REM when they're on anything at all. DJ Substance, Brooklyn Pete, and Robin, who I still don't think has got a nickname actually. Didn't go for Robin the Girl Wonder, which we picked up. Well, I thought it was good. But
it's a bit obvious.
But what do you do with Robin? How do you get a nickname out of Robin? Robin Banks.
Is that one? Yeah.
Yeah. But he was a roadie. He was a roadie for the Clash, though, wasn't he? Robin Banks. Yeah, he was. I think he was Mick Jones's mate, who possibly went to prison. And that's who Stay. I think that might be who Stay Free was written about. Clash, bit of Clash trivia there. Bit of Clash. So she didn't like Rocking Robin. So Robin Banks is out. Robin the Girl Wonder.
I can't think of anything. No, obviously they can't either. Otherwise, she would have come up with it by now.
No, yeah, Bobbin, Nobbin. Things that rhyme with Nobbin. Nobbin. That's not really to go very far. That may well mean something completely different in America, but fucking hell, that's not really good. Nobbin.
The way your mind lurches fitfully from one inappropriate subject to another.
I know. Yeah, I know. Well, we'll work on a nickname for Robin over the next 10 days or so, and we'll see what we can come up with. But yes. So anyway, that's the end of episode 29, Creatures and Whatnot. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Hooray!